How do you do? I'm Kinew. 2 more days. 2 more days and I will stop introducing myself that way. Till the next election. Thank you all so much for being here today. And on a serious note, I want to thank everyone for participating in Orange Shirt Day yesterday. Our team was there in full force, but I know that you as Manitobans were there in full force at Orange Shirt Day. And it's a really important day to honor survivors, to honor the parents left behind, and to honor the children who never came home. I was there on stage with our team yesterday at the arena, looking out at a sea of thousands and thousands of people wearing orange shirts. And I thought to myself, there's no way my dad ever could have imagined this when he was a little boy in the St. Mary's Indian Residential School. He told me so much about what he experienced, and I'll spare you the details, except for one. My father talked about a little boy that he shared a bunk bed with. He was named Louis Strong, according to the government records, but the name that his parents gave him was Migons. And Migons did not survive residential school. They lost him while he was there. And so my dad used to often talk about Migons towards the end of his own life. That's where we were as Canadians. We were divided at that time. Separate lives, separate institutions, separate hospitals. Today, we understand that that sort of division was a mistake. And so I encourage you to think of the children like Migon. He mattered. And that's why we say every child matters. Every child matters and every person matters. And that's what this campaign has been about. You know, I've met so many wonderful people on this campaign trail. And I want to share 2 of their stories with you here today. I was at the University of Manitoba a few weeks ago, and I met a nursing student there. And she was telling me how her family chose to move her grandma into a personal care home across the street from the Concordia Emergency Department. And that's actually why they chose to move their grandma into that home, because there was an ER across the street. But as it turns out, her grandmother had a fall. She had a fall on the very same day that the PCs closed that ER. So as a result, the paramedics drove past a closed emergency room in order to take this woman's grandma for care. This nursing student told me that her grandmother never came home after that trip in the ambulance. This young woman said that that is one of the reasons why she is studying nursing today. And she went on to say, in her words, that is why I support your plan to open emergency rooms. And so if we get the honor of forming government on this October 3rd, we're going to open an emergency room at Concordia. We're going to open an emergency room at Seven Oaks. We're going to open an emergency room at Victoria, and we're going to open an emergency room in Ericsdale. I met another nursing student. This young man was a veteran, and so did what I do every time I meet a service person. I shook his hand and I said, "Thank you for your service to our province and country." This young man started to tell me how when he was young, his mother got sick. They couldn't figure out what it was. All sorts of appointments, they couldn't figure out what it was. It was a misdiagnosis. As it turns out, it was cancer, but they found out too late. And so this young man lost his mother. And so this was his story of why he decided to pursue a career in nursing. And that man is the reason why we are going to build a new cancer care headquarters, so that Manitobans can get the best quality care, have the best cutting-edge research right here in our province. And at the end of the day, it is about making sure that more Manitobans can hear those four magic words. You are cancer-free. For the last 7 years as Manitobans, we have had to live with PC cuts. All of us, our friends, our neighbors, we've had to live with a government that closed emergency rooms, that fired nurses, that froze wages during a cost of living crisis, that turned a blind eye to the addictions crisis and made our communities less safe. I don't know about you, but I'm a little sick of Heather Stephenson's bad decisions and her cuts. And the good news is, we may not have to put up with it for much longer. Change is coming. Change is almost here. If you get out and vote. If, once you're done voting, you go down to your local campaign office and help remind other Manitobans to go vote. And so yes, I am asking for you to vote for the Manitoba NDP. But I am also asking for you to find your local NDP candidate and sign up for a few hours this Tuesday, October 3rd, to help bring this election home. I get it, everyone's busy. We're asking a lot, we're asking a few hours of your time. But here's the thing, the time to work is now. And if we don't put the work in now, we might have to wait 4 more years. And I don't think too many people in this province want to think about that. So let's put in the work now. Let's remind our neighbors and our friends and families to go vote. We know Manitobans are ready for change, and working together, we can make that change happen. I don't know about you, but when I look at our team, I can tell you that I'm very proud of the campaign that we've run. I'm very proud of the campaign that we've run because our campaign has been about bringing people together. Now, as we approached the start of this campaign, we all knew the PCs were going to go negative. But I don't think any of us expected just how despicable the PC ads would be. Could any of you have imagined before this election campaign that a sitting government would use women who were murder victims as political props in their advertising? Could any of you have imagined that Heather Stephenson, just a few months after attending the Pride Parade, would use children as a political wedge? Here is the thing. After what we've seen in this campaign, no matter how many seats the PCs win on Tuesday night, they will have lost the moral authority to govern. I think we all know that we can do better than that. I think we all know that we can do better than that here in Manitoba. And so this Tuesday, October 3rd, you can do something about it. You can vote for the Manitoba NDP. And together, we can fix healthcare. Together, we can lower costs for your family. And together, we can close the book on this sad chapter of the PCs in Manitoba. Here's the thing about the way we chose to run our campaign. We chose to believe in you. We chose to believe in Manitobans. We staked our campaign on the belief that Manitobans, when given the choice, would choose a positive team with a plan to fix healthcare and make the economy more affordable, as opposed to the PCs who only seek to divide neighbor from neighbor. This is where we believed in you, and I'm so glad that we did. We started our campaign this way, at the Canadian Mennonite University, appealing to your better angels. And the reason why we did this, first of all, we know that you're good people. But it's also based on a simple truth. No matter who wins this election, on October 4th, the day after the ballots are counted, all of us as Manitobans have to learn to live together again. And our campaign has been run with that goal in mind, to bring people together in Manitoba once again. So I want to tell you one more story. This one is something that I witnessed right before we started campaigning in earnest. This happened at the end of July, the start of August. Our family went down to the Sundance that we go to every summer. So we were there practicing the traditional way of life. And this year, while we're at the Sundance, we watched a family bring one of their loved ones home. They brought home a young child who had died in a boarding school. This young woman had lived an extraordinary life. She was at the Wounded Knee Massacre. And from there, she was taken to the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, where she passed away about a year later. And so what we witnessed this summer was her descendants, 7 generations later, bringing her home. And the American military had sent a tombstone in her honor. Beautiful white marble, the kind you see at the Arlington National Cemetery. On one side, inscribed the government name, Dora, daughter of Brave Bull, in English. But on the other side was inscribed the name that her parents gave to her, Ta Chanupawi. It's a Lakota name. It means her pipe, her sacred pipe. Ta Chanupawi. Over the 4 days of the Sundance, we watched this family pay tribute to her. They asked me and a few other guys to carry the tombstone into the circle. And the second I put my hand on it, I was just overcome with emotion. Everything about my dad, Miguns, his bunkmate, what it was like for him to lose his friend, what it was like for us to lose our dad. It all came flooding together, forward in one moment. It was very emotional. So we brought the tombstone into the sacred circle, and over the 4 days of that ceremony, this family paid tribute to it. The next day, they brought in sacred food, buffalo, choke cherries. The next day after that, they sang sacred songs from the Native American church. And then on the day after that, they brought in a beautiful beaded cradle board, and they put a photo that they had of her where the head should be. And it was really something to see. They prayed for her. They cried for her. They grieved for her. This child who had been taken from their family. This child who was their ancestor. For 140 years, these grandmothers maintained a silent vigil. For 140 years, they never forgot who this girl was. They remembered exactly where she fit into their family tree, and they remembered her name. I am extraordinarily proud to be part of a community that would never leave somebody behind. And that I'm very proud to be part of a community that wouldn't leave somebody behind. And that is what I want for Manitoba. I want this to be a province where we don't leave anyone behind. And that is what this campaign is about. That is what the Manitoba NDP is about. And that is what is on the ballot this Tuesday, October the 3rd. Because there are issues in our politics where we are being asked to leave people behind. And it's not what you think. I want us to be a province where we don't leave anyone behind. So that when they tell you in rural Manitoba that your community is going to lose your health care, when the bureaucrats tell you that it's not feasible to have health care in your community, I will not accept that. I will fight for health care in rural Manitoba. And when the PCs tell you that it's too expensive, when the PCs tell you that it's too expensive to have an emergency room in South Winnipeg, I will reject that. And I will work with this team to find the staff to open an ER in a neighborhood near you. And then we'll do it again in Concordia, and then again in Seven Oaks, and again in Ericsdale. And yes, the Manitoba NDP government will search the landfill for the same reason that we will bring a meal program into schools, for the same reason that we will fix home care, for the same reason that we will cut the gas tax, for the same reason that we will fight climate change, because this is a team that will not leave anyone behind. So we gather here the day after Orange Shirt Day and 2 days before the most consequential provincial election of our lives. So it's time for you to make a choice. Heather Stephenson and the PCs wanted you to believe that I could not overcome my past as an individual. But the real poison of the PC campaign is that they want you to believe that we cannot overcome our past as a province and as a country. They want you to believe that Canada and Manitoba are forever condemned to be divided. They want you to believe that we cannot learn from the mistakes of our history. They want you to believe that Manitobans are not capable of coming together to make a better tomorrow. So how about we prove them wrong? Let's prove them wrong and reject this view of a divided Manitoba. Because the PC view of Manitoba, it doesn't just demean the people in the ads that are being attacked. It demeans all of us. Because it assumes that we as Manitobans don't know better. And so it's time to reject that. And after the day that we experienced yesterday, wherein I watched seniors in River Heights who grew up next to the Assiniboia Residential School put on orange shirts, I know that better is possible. And that is what I am asking you to choose on October 3rd. I'm not just asking for your vote. I am asking for you to believe. I am asking for you to believe in the power of your ballot. I'm asking for you to believe in a better tomorrow. I'm asking for you to believe in us as one province, as one people, as one Manitoba. Because that is what we are. We are one Manitoba. And if you believe, like I believe, that we are one Manitoba, then let's go out and win this thing.